You have a seltzy? I also have a seltzy. Can you hear the bubbles?
No, because that's a Polar.
Oh, I know.
Polar doesn't have good bubbles. That's all my life consists of, really. I only have one passion, and it's seltzer. So it comes up quite a bit.
I don't know what people are sick of and what they're not sick of.
Seltzer is the only thing, if you asked me, what do you feel about seltzer? I'd say, good. Instead of everything else is fine. That's fine.
So good is somebody else's great.
Yeah, seltzer. Oh, it's good. That's the most you're going to get out of me.
How's living in New York? How's your place? Fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Not good. Only seltzer.
No, fine means fine.
But seltzer, that's something else.
It's good. People say fine when they mean something's not, but fine, the definition of fine, it's all right.
But you feel like that's your whole life is basically just fine?
That's just a lack of enthusiasm for things.
I see.
Because if you admit that you're into something, someone can say, well, that's dumb, and they could destroy it for you.
Oh.
So if you say it's fine,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. Even if you really like it, it's a force field.
Of protection. Do you think it's a good way to live your life, or do you think it's dumbing down the experience of living?
I think it's a fine way to live my life.
Okay.
Not everyone gets to get into the secret part of my life, so they can live with the fines.
I see. Okay, so it's a way to keep people at a distance.
Yeah, certain people with their opinions.
Right. That you're afraid of their opinions.
Yeah. Oh, I really like this thing. And now you're making fun of me for it. Now I feel like an idiot, and I can never like that thing again. Though seltzer, for some reason, there's a level of confidence. If someone said, seltzer sucks, I'd say, not going to sway me.
That's right. You would just say, you're wrong.
That's the thing. You're not allowed to not like seltzer. I don't know why people need to bring you down, though.
Right. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're not bringing you down. They just care more about their own opinion. And so they're saying, no, I don't like it. It's bad. I don't understand why you like it. And then you're saying, no, you're wrong. It's good. I don't understand why you don't like it.
I was talking to someone who doesn't like mint in cookies. And I said, okay. But I was thinking about a conversation other people would probably have about that. You're insane. How can you? No, the person's not insane. They don't like it.
Yeah.
And the other person who does like it's not insane for liking it. Why is it a thing? Why is because someone doesn't like what you like, that makes them out of their mind?
Do you think it has to do with being herd animals? We're a herd. We're trying to protect our herd. So if you're doing something that's out of the ordinary, then it's sort of a threat to me. So I don't trust you as much. So if you're crazy enough to like mint in your cookie, I don't trust you to be in my herd.
Yeah, so you're in the other herd that doesn't like mint in your cookie.
Yeah, the Australians.
What is one of these things you don't like?
Me?
There is something outside of okra you don't like. And
Oh,
I like.
no. Okra. Slimy.
I don't really have a defense for okra. That one I would... Like,
You
well,
like the slime.
I like okra, but if someone said, ugh, I'd say, yeah, you're right. But I like it. But there was something else.
I know everyone has this thing against raisins in cookies. I love an oatmeal raisin cookie. If you just had an oatmeal cookie without raisins, what is it? Oatmeal? I'm not interested.
That's why you don't have either. Those cookies shouldn't be made.
No, I like those cookies.
I will say this. If you can like the cookies, if I'm following what I'm telling you, you can like those cookies. Uh-huh. But anytime there was a cookie party, this is where I work, we had a cookie party. Uh-huh. But everyone, like a bunch of people, brought in homemade cookies. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you this. Someone brought in the oatmeal raisin. Those sat.
Yeah.
Those were the last to go, if they even went at all. I think they went in the trash. Raisins, since they're just dehydrated grapes, in essence, you're having grape cookies.
No, grapes and raisins are totally different. That's like saying you're having that wine tastes like grapes.
It does.
No, it doesn't.
With all those other mixed in flavors that the connoisseurs can pick up on.
Yes, stone fruit.
We've already established this. The winemaker who puts his poop in the wine.
Wait a minute. He doesn't. Don't diminish what he does. He doesn't just put his poop in the wine. He eats special foods and spices and things, lets them digest in his body, just like that animal that poops out the fancy coffee beans, right? And then he makes his own sort of ingredient that adds to the wine that he poops out into it.
Yeah, I understand that, but he's still pooping into this wine.
That's really bringing it down to something so base. And what he does is an art. It's a skill. He sacrifices. You think on Thanksgiving he's eating Thanksgiving dinner? No. he's eating his like anise and cloves and peaches, rotten peaches, because they found out that it adds something to the, the Cabernet.
There's a fine line behind a guy who's just being crude and rude and pooping in someone's wine, and a guy who eats thyme.
Exactly.
And then lets loose.
Yes.
What do you think that sells for? Is that a medium-priced bottle of wine?
I think they're a pretty humble vineyard. They're not trying to go for the
price point of $14 on average.
Oh yeah, I think they're like a $12.99.
Accessible to all family homes.
Not $8.99. $8.99. You really are just looking for whatever's cheapest.
I don't trust wine that has cents. I want a whole number.
Oh, cents.
Yeah, CENTS.
Dollar and cent. Yeah, okay.
If it was a $13.99 bottle of wine or the 14, it's classier to me.
Oh.
Because it's not trying to play that game with you where you think you're not spending so much.
Right.
And also, I feel like this guy should be selling his wine for a lot because it could be something that rich people get on board with. I could see them being snobby about it. I drank the man's shit wine.
I don't think they'd call it that. It'd be like some French word for like, le de merde. Wait, what's fruit in French?
I don't know. I don't know other languages.
Like whatever fruit is in French, de merde.
I don't say that with pride, by the way, that I don't know other languages. I just don't. I wish I did. I just can't. My brain doesn't have the capacity for it.
The capacity?
Yeah, see, I can barely get this language down. So what do you expect?
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ, and it is my week to pick a topic, but I didn't really pick a topic. I couldn't come up with something. I stood in the shower thinking that I would come up with a topic, and I stayed in there for 45 minutes and just let the water hit me as my mind went blank and my skin turned pruny. And then I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. So then I asked Autumn. I cheated. I said, Autumn, what's a good topic for today's episode?
And I was looking out my window at the time, so I came up with topics like trees, fences.
Look, I would be happy to talk about trees if I did research. I would just have to put in some research.
Sure.
Get the scientific names for trees down. Hardwoods being the best burning wood.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Why you don't want to put pine in a fire.
No. Unless you're having fun and you're outside and there's nothing around that can blow up.
Say I didn't have time for this. And fences, sure. There's all kinds of different fences.
Some are just decorative. Some are like privacy fences.
Some are meant to maim.
Ooh, yeah. Keep people in, keep people out.
Yeah, there was this awful picture that I saw once on the internet where it happened in Atlanta. A guy was running from the police. He jumped off a ledge and there was a fence below with the points and it caught his head and it ripped his head from his body.
Oh, no.
I don't say that as like a fun thing. I just came across that and I thought maybe it was fake.
Yeah.
No, that's a real picture. And I was like, why was that so easy for me to see?
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for that. And it didn't give me a warning if you click on this because I wouldn't have.
I like that. But you know what? Those things that are like all blurred out and they say, you have to click a special button for it to expose itself. Sometimes it makes me want to see it more. Like if I had just come across it, I'd scroll past it and wish I hadn't seen it. But then now I'm clicking to see it and I only have myself to blame.
Yeah, it is on you at that point. Someone warned you, but it's not.
It's like morbid curiosity now. It's like, oh, they're hiding it from me. I want to see it.
Yeah. No, I don't need to ever see those things.
Yeah. If it was that, I would click on it to see it.
No.
Be kind of interesting.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Listen, I get it.
It dehumanizes the person.
Why does it dehumanize them?
Because you think of it one of two ways.
Okay.
Either you're like, oh, wow, that was a person who was alive and thinking a few minutes ago, and now they're gone, just completely erased from existence.
Right.
Or that's hard to handle, so you're like, I don't know, you don't think of them as a person.
I would look at it like, wow, this is what happens to a human body. And what's more human than that, than wondering how the human body works?
How it gets ripped apart?
Yeah, listen, it's not like someone did it to him. If someone did that to him, I think it would be harder to look at. But because it was kind of his fault. He jumped over the thing. He's running from the cops. He jumped over the thing. It's not good that he got that that he died that way. I'm not saying that.
Is this our topic? Is this what it's becoming for the day?
Go ahead. What's your topic? It's your week, Greg.
Oh, yeah, it's my week. And I didn't lean on Autumn for a topic of traditions because we're near the holidays. And I just caught myself wanting to ask you if we're only talking about holiday traditions or all traditions that can span a whole year. But if it were my topic, I would have the answer for that, and I wouldn't be asking you such a question.
Right.
So
because I didn't help you come up with the topic.
No. I mean, we can stick to holiday traditions.
Okay.
I did put one on my list, though, back when I used to watch football, which I don't do anymore because the Falcons stink. And I was tired of putting my self-worth into sports. I was tired of being upset the next day. I was like, what is going on? And I'm mopey and can't get out of bed because this team lost a game.
You would feel like that?
Yeah. I had to distance myself from that crap.
Do you think that's pretty normal?
Yes, it's normal.
Weird.
But it's a strange, that's why people get so involved in it. But one of the traditions I had when I used to watch the Falcons games a long time ago with my friend Kent, Southpaw beer, which is no longer around, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
So much Southpaw beer. Cigarettes. I would smoke cigarettes when the team was on offense.
Wow.
As if that helped them in any way. And then when they were on defense, I would eat white bread and spray butter.
Wow.
And with all the beer and the spray butter, well, the spray butter has no calories because that's a chemical. And the white bread, I was probably consuming thousands of calories, that maybe 5,000 calories, 6,000 calories in a day. And then the cigarettes, it was a real healthy tradition.
Yeah. Did something happen while you were watching the game that made you think this is going to work? Like, I only smoked during the offense and this special thing happened. So now that I need to keep that going.
Yeah, you make false correlations.
Yeah. When were you eating just white bread and something good happened?
You know how many times it doesn't work?
Yeah.
But it's just because, I want to have a cigarette or, I enjoy eating this white bread with spray butter. And therefore, it's helping. Look.
Yeah.
I'm a part of this team. So anyway, that was the only one I had that wasn't holiday.
All right, I have one that's not holiday, but it can sort of move us over into holiday traditions. But when and I don't even know if this is really a tradition or if it's like an etiquette type of thing, but it made me think of it where people bring things to a house, like they never go to a house empty-handed. And like I said, I don't know if that's like an etiquette thing or if that's just someone's tradition.
I could fall into, I guess, both. It is an etiquette thing.
Yeah.
And I rarely do it.
I know. I want to be the person that never shows up to a house empty-handed.
It's probably rude not to. But if it's people I know, here's the thing. Once, I guess I do feel like I need to do it. I brought a bunch of bananas once. So I made a joke of it.
Yeah,
I don't know what to bring.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring something that people don't want to eat or consume.
Well, the wine is always a good easy thing to do.
Like those oatmeal raisin cookies or something. It would hurt my feelings.
It would. If someone brought you oatmeal raisin, you'd think it was an insult.
No, but I'm saying if I brought them and then I see people not consuming the thing that I brought.
Oh.
So bananas, I was like, all right, no one's really going to want a banana. So my whole life is just set up protecting myself.
Yeah,
that's right. So
you're like, I'm going to bring something, but I'm not going to bring something that will hurt me if you deem it unacceptable.
My feelings are sensitive.
So I'm going to mask it by being silly.
I spent years masking my feelings when I was 7. I said, that's enough. I don't need to age anymore. I'm going to stay 7 forever. And then I wrote all these screwed up journals about being inanimate objects that nobody wanted. And I was discarded constantly. And then that was the first year. So 7, we were going into 1990. That was the first year I realized I hated New Year's and I hated new decades, which is fitting for this. And look, it only took me 30 years to undo all that crap that I put into place to protect myself from the fear that I had of dying. That was the passing of time. The dislike I had for my sibling being born. And, what I just mentioned doesn't bring up any of the systems I put in place to protect my feelings, but those surely were evolved and created around that same time. A child. I lived with the mental capacity of a 7-year-old for 30 years.
The other parts of your brain continued to grow and expand. There was one part that was protecting that.
The emotional part just stuck.
I guess.
Stagnant. So, tradition of bringing things to someone's house maybe I should open up and start, taking risks. A baked brie.
That's a great thing to bring. With some like jelly on the top and some crackers, some water crackers.
All right, that'll be my tradition. I'll make the brie.
Okay. But then you have to transport it warm. That's weird.
No, I mean I will make the brie from scratch.
Oh man.
I don't know what the process of making brie is.
I don't think you can do it. I don't think people make brie at home.
There's a way to do it.
I bet you it's 10 times more expensive to make your own brie than to go to a dumb store and buy it.
Sure. But if you want to talk about a tradition, my tradition is making my own brie. That's one we can implement. I'm going to look it up.
How to make brie.
Brie. How to make
a brie.
From home. From goat milk. That'd be really fancy.
You'd have to own a goat.
With just a few simple ingredients, a step-by-step recipe will guide you into your own brie tradition.
Wow. A tradition?
No.
You added that?
I added that so it would be fitting. It would tie in.
Good job.
Well, actually, here's how learn how to make traditional brie right in your own kitchen.
Yes.
So there you go. In stores, we see very, very many commercial versions. I don't care about this. It's an intermediate skill level.
Okay. That's not too hard.
2 pounds. You have to age it under 2 months. 2 gallons of milk, cream.
They're like, find a cave.
A bunch of cultures and you need some equipment.
What kind of equipment? You can't do this at home.
A good thermometer, mini measuring spoons, spoon or ladle to stir curds, 2 brie cheese molds, and 2 draining mats. You could certainly do this from home.
All right.
You have to heat and acidify the milk and coagulate with rennet.
What's rennet?
I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The point is, it can be done.
All right.
Maybe that'll be my new tradition.
I would love to hear how your brie turns out. You're going to have to go to the store and buy 2 gallons of milk.
It's nothing.
Okay.
That's not crazy. No one's going to look at you weird for buying 2 gallons of milk.
Seems like a lot at once.
The cheese maker.
Mm-hmm. The brie maker.
And then I'll venture into all types of cheese. Just like I make my soups. I'll make my own. I'll start inventing my own cheeses.
Yeah. Certain cheeses that go well with your soups.
Yeah. Cheese soups.
Oh, combine them.
That's what's next.
That's your new tradition.
And then I will hide little things in my... Sometimes when I make things, I just like to hide little pieces of food that don't belong in there, like a crumb of a cookie. I'll just throw it in.
It's just some weird little game that only you would know about.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's something that's not going to hurt someone.
Yeah. Right. It's not like a razor blade.
Does that count as a tradition?
I don't think so.
Whenever I make soups,
That's just like a weird impulse that you can't stop yourself from doing.
When I make soups, I often will throw a multivitamin in or some zinc or vitamin B12.
This soup's giving me so much energy.
I mean, it's just one.
That's true. And like parts per million, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's basically gone.
But it's a nice thing that I enjoy doing.
All right. What a great tradition.
Around the holidays.
Well, I wanted to see if you thought there might be a difference between tradition and ritual, or even like a custom.
Yeah, ritual I feel like is cutting a goat's head off and drinking its blood.
Right. I think a ritual is like has a more religious or like spiritual or magical property to it, whereas a tradition is, I feel like so many traditions just revolve around food. You know, it's a tradition for Thanksgiving that you eat certain things.
Well, so you say this though, and Christmas about to happen. That's a religious holiday. And we're calling it traditions and not rituals.
But, okay, yes, Christmas is a religious holiday, obviously. But there are so many people who celebrate Christmas that aren't religious. So it's not just... And you're not doing something... You're not eating the Christmas ham because it has like a spiritual meaning. Or or like it does something for you.
What if you took the pig...
Okay.
Cut its head off and drank its blood? Then is that
That's a Christmas ritual.
Is that a tradition?
No.
At that point?
That's a Christmas ritual.
Okay.
Because it has some magical property to it. And magical, I don't mean as in like fake magic. I mean like some sort of mystical something attached to it.
All right, let's not get into communion then. Let's just stay away from that.
Well, that's a ritual. See, that's not a tradition.
Okay. There, we set some standards.
Okay.
And what was the other thing?
Custom.
Yeah, I guess a custom could be.
I feel like custom is around culture.
Yeah, on larger scale.
Okay.
I would think. It's a custom. Most of the people within this culture practice this custom of
Okay, of like the French kissing on both cheeks. Mwah, mwah. That's a French custom. It's not a tradition. A tradition would be the French every year on Bastille Day eat a hard-boiled egg because of something. But that's some tradition. I was trying to think of like a non-religious holiday so it wouldn't become a ritual.
But if everyone did that, then maybe it'd be a custom. A tradition, I feel like, could be more personal. It's like, this is what I do. This is what the people around me in my life do. We do this together.
Yeah, but then Christmas time, when people have Christmas trees and they eat special foods for Christmas, it's the same thing. You're just doing it because it's a tradition.
Okay. Let's change the topic to semantics.
We're setting the standard.
Okay, so then
I wish the topic was semantics.
That could be we'll put it on the list.
Yeah, let me write it down.
And it'll be added. Okay, so custom and tradition for this sake can be the same thing.
Okay.
Ground rules are laid, but no animal blood.
Yeah, no. No, rituals are different. Rituals are religious. Custom is cultural. Tradition, I guess, is more personal. But like I said, I feel like it all revolves around food. Don't you think it's a tradition every year that you eat a turkey on Thanksgiving? It's a tradition every year to make Christmas cookies and decorate them or make a gingerbread house.
Sure.
Yeah, those are traditions.
Those are nice things.
Yeah.
Things I never really had.
Oh.
I mean, they were offered to me. I shouldn't say they weren't there.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't. No. So what do you have on your list?
That it was I wrote down the Feast of Seven Fishes, which is an Italian custom, I think. I want to say I wrote it down as a tradition, but maybe it's a custom. This is our semantics episode now.
What is this?
The Feast of Seven Fishes. It's an Italian thing where you go to midnight mass, and then when you come home, you eat a ton of fish.
Oh.
And people stay up until like 6 a.m.
What if you don't want to eat fish? What if you don't like fish?
People like fish.
But a lot of people don't like fish.
Well, then I'm sure there's like some bread. You can have some bread. Or
No.
I'm sure there's cheese and stuff and crackers and stuff.
Because this is tied to a religious thing. You go to midnight mass. If you don't eat the fish, I'm sure you're shunned. Any tradition or custom that's making someone feel like an outcast because they don't want to partake. I'm not into it. I'm making this up, but I'm just imagining the people don't want to eat the fish. Like, you can't be a part of this.
There's a difference between...
You don't like Jesus. You're done.
There's a difference between... Okay, so maybe I don't know the history of this tradition of this Feast of Seven Fishes, so maybe it does have like a religious connotation. But there's a difference between like folding your arms and saying, I don't like fish, you know what I mean, and making it a thing, or just being there for the tradition, not participating in it necessarily, but just being around it.
Watching people eat a bunch of fish?
No, you just hang out with them, and I'm sure there's...
Can you imagine the smell?
I like
Who's
fish.
cooking the fish? Is there a specific kind of fish?
I'm sure it's some Italian mother who's making this stuff.
Is it a mixture of a bunch of different kinds of fish?
I think it's all kinds of fish. So it's like you could have like crab, you could have some white fish, salmon, something. I don't know.
What made you think of this?
I was thinking of traditions.
Oh, so just in general.
Yeah.
Would you want to partake in this?
I would for the experience. I like fish. I don't like all fish. I don't like mussels or clams or oysters and things.
Those are the only ones I'll eat.
That's weird.
Give me a shellfish, a bivalve.
Like an oyster?
Yeah, the raw oysters are tough.
I don't understand. We've talked about this, I think, on the show. I don't understand the point of an oyster. The oyster, no one is, do you chew the oyster?
No.
No, you just gulp it, right? As fast as you can. So what did you just do? First of all, people put like horseradish or hot sauce or something in there. And then all you do is burn your mouth with the hot sauce and then quickly swallow that oyster thing.
Well, it's like taking a shot. You don't really want to taste it, so you're getting drunk. And when oysters are aphrodisiacs, so that isn't why people are doing
I know that's
it,
people aren't shooting oysters to get horny.
That's why I do it. I'm going to the oyster bar tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna get laid. But what about like mussels?
That could be a tradition. When bros try to go out to get laid at night, they go to the oyster bar first.
A tradition, definitely, right? There's got to be bro tradition where they pregame. You know?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get wasted.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna get wasted before we go get wasted by shotgunning this beer and then shotgunning another beer. Tall boys, 22 ounces in my bathtub. Or if you're confident enough in your ability, you don't do it in the bathtub because you're not worried you're going to spill it.
Oh no, you're a professional.
Yeah, I guess that you'd be shunned if you you spilled it.
See, I think
can't come out tonight.
Now, if they did these things because they were superstitious and felt like last time they did it they got laid, now that's a ritual.
Well, that goes into my watching football superstition.
Exactly, that's magical thinking. Like I said, not to say that it's fake, because I'm not trying to say like religious rituals are fake, but there's some magical property to it. And that makes it a ritual.
If only I had a rabbit at the time. And by accident, this would be by accident. I would never do something like this on purpose. Someone came over and the rabbit was loose and they sat on the rabbit. And as soon as they sat on the rabbit, the falcon scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then at that point, like, well, we got to kill rabbits constantly so this team can win. It becomes a ritual.
Good thing the rabbits have lots of babies. So you just have to start out with 2.
The only reason
pretty soon you got 12.
The only reason I'm bringing
How many games are in a season?
I'm not condoning slaughtering animals and drinking their blood. But in Prospect Park in Brooklyn, it's a thing that happens. That they find goat heads all over the place. And there's a big Caribbean population. And it's tied to some of that.
Okay. That's it's not a tradition.
So when you say ritual, I just constantly think, because there's always articles published, it's like another goat head found.
That's so weird.
So that's what I think of.
Okay.
And that's why I keep returning to that. But I'll stop. I'm not going to reference another animal's blood for the rest of the show. I'm going to do my best.
What's a tradition that you personally do for Christmas?
Boy. I told you, I don't partake in too many traditions. The one that I had was not a healthy one. It was a bad one. And I've
killing of the rabbits?
I've talked about I told you I'm done with that. No more.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You can bring it up.
I just did.
Just don't try to lure me there.
Okay.
I'm not going back.
Okay.
No, back in the days when I was using drugs. On Christmas Eve, I like to have... Oh, this was before it ramped up into anything. But it was like... My sister had her wisdom teeth taken out one year, and on Christmas Eve, I was like, what are these? It's the first time I tried like a Percocet. I was like, oh, this is nice. I want to do this every Christmas Eve. And for like 6 years in a row, that became my tradition.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So there you go.
Okay.
There.
Thank you for revealing that.
Well, it's whatever. It is what it is.
Well, sometimes on Christmas Eve, do you think back on that and do you feel shame about it, or do you feel like that was fun and you miss it, or what do you feel?
I think that was before things, because at some point, and then it's like, oh, I'm taking too much of these, so therefore it doesn't mean anything if you take one on Christmas Eve. There is no tradition, though.
Oh, right, because you're already taking it other times.
Yeah,
so it's not special.
No, so it loses that. No, I don't know. It was a thing. That's how I view it.
Okay.
It was at the time something, because it wasn't happening often in my life. Yeah, it was something that I liked. Now it's nice to not do that. So yeah, that's the new thing.
Okay.
But we talk about traditions. If you talk to people who are into drugs hardcore, there's a lot of ritual.
Ritual. See, why is it ritual?
Because
is it some sort of magic thinking about it? It's not going to kill you, or it's going to be safe this time, or
it's happening so often though too, right?
What do you mean, the use of the drug?
I know that people who shoot heroin, a big part of it is the prep of it, the scoring of it, then the prep.
Yeah.
And even not using the drug, one of the hardest things for people to get over is that consumed so much of their life, and that became such a part of it that they have to relearn a lot more.
Huh.
And I don't know if it, I mean, I'm sure it could tie to alcohol. If you had the bar, you went to work, you went to this bar that you liked. That's where you went every night. That was your thing.
Yeah. You have to relearn how to not go to that bar.
It's not just not drinking at that point.
Definitely. And smoking is the same way. There's such a context for smoking that you cannot be physically addicted to cigarettes or to nicotine anymore. But the ritual around it, like that feeling of being full after eating a big meal and wanting to smoke, or you're in the car and you always smoke in the car and it's like a thing you do. It's just, you have to, there's a lot more. And then what I've heard about heroin is that because it is something that you have to do in such a secret way, that the context for it is a little bit easier to avoid. And that's why like people who have a problem with food have such a problem with either not overeating or being bulimic or anorexic or something, is because you still have to be around the food constantly. And so you have to totally retrain your brain on how to think about it.
That's how I think about alcohol, because it is just widely available. Mm-hmm. Cigarettes, less and less people are smoking.
And they're so expensive. I think that's a deterrent.
Yeah. In New York, they're $15 a pack. Yeah. And that really deterred people. It's like, I can't outlaw these, but...
Do people who sell loose cigarettes make money?
Yeah, they were selling them for $1 a piece.
How many are in the pack?
20.
Oh.
So it was a small profit there.
They might be getting it from another place, too.
Well, then there was the black market cigarette guy.
Pennsylvania or something.
There was a black market cigarette guy who had the Virginia packs of cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
When I was smoking, though, one of the hardest things when I quit was, normally in this situation, I would smoke. Mm-hmm. Talking to a friend, having a deep conversation late at night. I mean, smoking in bars, which in Atlanta, you could still do. That's one thing. Then I moved to New York and you couldn't smoke in bars anymore, so you have to go outside. But then that became its own thing.
Right.
And I really liked going out, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't.
You never knew when you were done blowing out your smoke because it was so cold.
Yeah, and then I would switch to menthols. No, talk about a tradition.
Whoa!
In winter, I'd switch to menthols.
Ugh.
Because I felt as though it's already cool, crisp air, and let's add this menthol flavor to it. It made no sense. And then when I had a car in Atlanta, when I would drive, then it became when I had to walk places. Yeah, that you have to retrain yourself to get past all of those things. Mm-hmm. It's a big. It's not the smoking that was the hardest part. It was just all the triggers from those situations.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Those things can be harder to avoid than if you were doing something that's maybe more physically addictive.
But the way these things work, and I guess this is not a tradition, but once you get far enough away from them, like when I hadn't had a cigarette in so long, I would have dreams that I did, and what the hell? Why did you ruin that? And then you wake up and you'd be happy you didn't have a cigarette.
Yeah.
But it takes a little while to get there. And then once you're there, everything flips.
I know, because now I think about smoking and it's so gross.
And then you just, Did you never smoked, though?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little bit. I smoked when I was with Tim Andrews. Did some smoking.
Not a lot.
Enough where I used the patch to quit.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. And then it turned into just when you're drunk. And then I would ask for a cigarette when I was drunk. And I would just want a puff of someone's. And then they'd be like, here, you can have the whole thing. I'm like, oh, I really don't want it. Because I just stopped enjoying them. So it was really easy to stop after that. Because you really have to push past the gross part of smoking. And then once you do, it's great.
Yeah, that's what's strange about it. And drinking. When you first start drinking,
true.
You don't really like it. I'll keep doing this, though.
Yeah.
But there's more obvious effect with alcohol.
Well, and you get better with what alcohol is, because there is alcohol that does taste good. But if you're just talking about, even wine, it takes a while to understand the fruit, floral, and nut flavors in a wine. You don't taste them at first. But you're right. You do have to push past the wine being gross, and then all of a sudden you start tasting things in it.
So, yeah. Around abuse of substances, there are maybe traditions.
Yeah, maybe.
Or rituals. That's fine. It all falls into the... Look, we say we're going to stick to holiday traditions. And
right. Well, listen, taking the Percocet was your Christmas Eve tradition.
I'm not proud of it.
Christmas time is here.
Yeah, it was a thing.
Yeah.
It was my own, though. Like shared traditions. I feel like I've created my own mostly.
Okay.
And they're things that I've enjoyed doing. Because I didn't, again, it's like, well, what if someone else doesn't want to do this? I don't want them to ruin my tradition.
I like watching certain movies around Christmas time. Obviously, you watch Christmas movies, but there are certain ones that I like to see, like the Miracle on 34th Street with what's her name?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's my favorite.
Natalie Wood. Thanks, Mom. And A Christmas Carol with the Alistair Sims Christmas Carol. Normally I know these, it just left my brain.
You're being fed information. You should put an earpiece in every time we do the show.
That's true, with my mom.
And have your mom listen in. And she just feeds information.
Yeah. Those are important ones to watch. And Scrooged. Oh, we should watch Scrooged. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's certain movies, certain like I like baking, and so I like making certain things, especially in the wintertime. There is a tradition for me to make these like ginger cookies once the season changes. I would never want a ginger not never. I wouldn't be inclined to think of making these ginger cookies in the summer. You know what I mean? In the summer, you want like citrusy things, so you would make something like with lemon in it or something. I would never make something with, you don't want you don't want a pumpkin pie in July.
What about the pumpkin spice crap that comes out in the fall? That's a tradition for people.
It is.
It's a manufactured tradition.
Yeah.
That's based on making money for corporations like Starbucks. But
what are some other ones? I feel like there are some other ones that people have. Would you say the diamonds industry standard of saying like 3 months salary is a tradition that they've forced on people?
Yeah, I guess that can be viewed as a tradition. So engagement rings in general. Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe, sure.
Because that's where that 3 month salary thing comes into play.
Which is garbage.
All of that's manufactured.
Right. I mean, think about even Valentine's Day. The traditional things to get for Valentine's Day are flowers and chocolates. And I don't know. Is there anything else? Card.
Balloon.
A balloon. Get out of here with your balloon. What am I, 8? Well, wow, a balloon.
That's what people will do. This is the problem around these manufactured traditions.
I want a vase of flowers with a teddy bear holding on to it. Because you're going to infantilize me because I'm a little girl who needs sweets and flowers and pretty things.
So when does a tradition hold meaning? If it's one you've created for yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, meaning's subjective.
I would rather the tradition be, me. I want you to get the big box of chocolates half off the next day and spend $5 instead of $10 on that thing. That's what I would appreciate way more.
And that can turn into a tradition, but it's an offshoot from
a fake tradition.
Which people put so much value in, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, we didn't celebrate Valentine's. It doesn't mean anything. If one person says it doesn't mean anything, then sadly it doesn't. I know that it's somewhat dismissive of the other person's feelings if it does mean something to them, so maybe there's a way to compromise, but that's not what I'm talking about. I just, he didn't want to do this thing, but I got him to do it, and it made me feel better. But wouldn't the thing be that you wanted him to want to do that for you, and that didn't happen, so what are you getting out of it?
They're getting power, right?
Or
you're getting just power out of it.
Tell everyone else that you're just like them. I did the thing we were supposed to do.
And that's important to people.
That's a terrible tradition.
People who, all of those things are manufactured things, right? Like those bracelets that people wear that are that jewelry. What is that stupid thing called? Where you can get like different charms for it and stuff. It became a thing. Not a tennis It's not a tennis bracelet. It's like you would get. Oh, God, I can't remember. Anyway, people know what I'm talking about.
Is that like a charm bracelet?
It's like a charm bracelet, but it's like for suburban housewives.
What are there better charms that let's just say it is for the sake of it.
It's like my kid plays soccer, and so my husband, for my birthday, got me a soccer charm. or like the charm that has my kids' names on it and it's like in sterling silver or whatever. I guess I feel like I know people who have this thing and I love these people and I don't mean to shit on them. But from my point of view, it is a manufactured thing. Somebody decided, like, we're going to make this thing. We're going to market it as something like, care about your wife this holiday season. Get her a charm bracelet thing. Every kiss be... Like, that's all manufactured and does mean less. So a more meaningful tradition would be something that you guys do together. Every year on her birthday, the first time we met, we went to the grocery store together and she bought a potato. And that's what we do now. We go to the grocery store and we buy a potato. It's like some stupid thing that doesn't make sense, but it has some meaning for you two. That's a way better tradition.
Yeah, but a lot of people are lazy. People like traditions. So this is what we're figuring out, is people enjoy traditions. And so as things that people buy into are usually hijacked and sold in some form or another. Like, okay, look, here it is. And then it gets people who are lazy off the hook, who don't want to even deal with stuff like that. And then they can buy the charm.
Yeah, it's easy.
But then I assume there are different soccer ball charms, and one's better than the other wife gets the better soccer ball and she feels good about herself and superior, and the other one feels like a piece of
Pandora.
Well,
Pandora bracelets.
You're excited.
Well, I'm just excited that I found what I was talking about. So let's look this up.
You got a picture of one of these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious. It's not that's the name of it's not the brand.
Look.
Okay.
So they're just like a band around, it's just a bracelet. And you slide these charms. You have to buy these charms individually. And they're...
But it's a company that did this.
Yes.
Pandora is the company.
Yes.
And look, they came up with something and people jumped on board.
They did.
It's the same thing as the beers and the diamonds.
Yes.
We're going to limit the supply and make them so they're rare and somehow tie your value to it and the value of the love you have with the other person to the size of the diamond they buy you. And people bought into it. And what a ridiculous... Why doesn't anyone just stop and think? But it's all status symbols at that point.
It's a status thing. Well, I was going to say about these Pandora bracelets, right? If you have multiple even, and they're full of charms, that is... it's telegraphing to other people, other women, or maybe I guess other men too, about like, I'm the cock of the walk.
Yes, certainly.
My husband cares about me more and spends more money on me and spoils me with stupid charms.
So what's your Christmas tradition? Making my neighbors feel like shit and inferior. I buy the better gifts. My wife shows them off better. And then they feel like they're losers. And that's my Christmas tradition.
Well, even like engagement rings and wedding rings, there are people that have a certain standard as to what that needs to be. And it needs to be this big of a diamond so that people will see it. The wedding ring part needs to be like also have a bunch of diamonds on it and fit around it. So it looks like a certain way. And it's
and that person with the pear-shaped diamond, you know that relationship's not lasting.
You're just getting that from Sex and the City.
Oh, yeah, that is where I got that.
Yeah.
I didn't know where I got that. Is that true, though?
Yes, because Aiden picked out a pear-shaped diamond and Samantha...
Oh, I know that's
what's
true.
Her name? Not Samantha. Miranda helped him pick it out. And she was like, I was so pregnant. Leave me alone.
No, I know that's true. But is the pear-shaped still shun?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't care about stuff like that. If there was always a thing about me and my fiance, me and my boyfriend at the time, whatever, if there was some thing between us about pears and then you got me a pear-shaped diamond, I feel like then it would have some sort of meaning. But this is not tradition.
What if you like bananas?
A banana-shaped diamond?
Mm-hmm. Those don't exist.
How about yellow gold because bananas are yellow?
Yeah, but that's ugly.
Nah, it's all right.
Who wants yellow gold?
Nah, people want yellow gold. It's coming back.
Is it?
Sure.
I don't keep up with any of it.
I don't really either. I'm just saying it because it feels right. I think it is.
It's too much tied to it that I don't like.
Because it's coming from a place of inauthenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very important, I think, to me and you. Where you don't want to you don't want something you don't want something done for you just because you're sort of told to do it or there's some sort of fake merit attached to it. You want the person to do it because they want to do it, because even if they don't want to do it, they know it means something to you and it makes them feel good to do it for you. And that's what's important.
That's why New Year's Eve I don't like to partake. Well, the couple reasons. One is another year has passed and I've gotten over this in the past couple of years, but I used to hate it because it was just a point to look back and like, what have I done? Oh, nothing again. And just another year closer to death. But outside of that, it's like everyone wants to go out and look, if they're having fun, what do I care? But there's this.
There's pressure if you do go out to be having the best time because this is the end of this year. So you have to have this kind of time.
And then New Year's resolutions could be tradition for some people, which I don't buy into either. Look, if you want to make a change in your life, great. I'm all for that. It's something you should want to do. It shouldn't be tied to a new year because at that point, it just seems like something that everyone else does. It's also a should. At this point, I should make this change in my life. And how often do people follow through on these things?
Yeah, you won't do things because you should. Or you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should again. It's not as useful to you yourself to do things because of a should. It's because of a want.
Yeah, if you want to make a change, just do it. Whenever. What's the Michael Jackson song that uses that lyric? Man in the Mirror.
Gonna make a change.
Yeah, that's what I thought
it's gonna feel real good. Shamo.
That's what I thought of when I said that. Man in the Mirror.
Oh, yeah. I love that song. I'm asking him to make a change, and no message could be any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, better look at yourself and make that change, which is honestly a good message. Don't try and change everyone else. Start with yourself, and then you'll influence people because of your actions.
And if you don't, so what?
And so what? Let them go and be miserable.
It's their problem.
And especially if you have kids, you're not going to change them into being a certain way. They're going to mirror you. So if they see you being a jerk and then you are telling them not to be a jerk, they're going to grow up to be jerks because they saw you being a jerk.
But they're an extension of you.
Oh, yeah.
They can fulfill all the dreams that you had that you weren't able to to reach.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have kids.
Yes.
I didn't do the things I wanted, but my kid will be a professional baseball player.
That's right. Correct the sins of the past.
And just keep having kids. So many sins in my past. That's why I had 38 kids.
Well, and you're likely just statistically going to do well with one of them. So have more.
Yeah, but then you can't give them attention. So maybe you're not going to do well with any of them.
Oh, but that's a gamble. You just have to roll the dice.
Some people
want to place one bet at a roulette table and some want to spread it out. It's just.
I do spread it out.
Do you?
Yeah.
I like doing black or red.
I'll do a black or a red. Sometimes the 2-to-1. So you pick a row, and then I just arbitrarily pick corners and lines, and I'll pick one number completely.
How many times have you played roulette? I think I've played it once, and then I got so scared, and I left.
I played it. I was thinking about this because you like to gamble.
I do like to gamble.
I hate gambling. I hate losing money.
The reason why I left the roulette table was because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was afraid. I was afraid to be around the people who knew what they were doing and that I was going to be messing them up or causing them to whatever. Just like that one where you roll the dice. Like, I don't approach that because I don't know how that's played. I don't know what's bad luck, what's good luck.
Well, I saw a commercial for a casino, and I thought, really, why do so many people like? I know the prospect of winning money, but why do so many people like doing it? And then I thought of you. I was like, oh yeah, I know someone.
Yeah.
Autumn, she enjoys gambling.
I do.
But when I played roulette, I just made stuff up, and I won like $120.
Cool.
But if I did it again, it probably wouldn't work. It's just the luck of the draw, the spin.
Yeah, the luck of the spin.
That can get into some superstitions, which aren't traditions, but people gamble.
You could have a tradition where
after you blow all your money, you go have the steak buffet.
Yeah, sad steak buffet.
I have no money left.
I know that there are a lot of rituals that are included with gambling, but maybe a tradition, I'm just bringing it back, a tradition could be like every Labor Day, me and the wife head out to Harrah's And we have a little time at the casino, and that's just what we do. It's our little tradition. We don't care how much money we lose. We each bring $200 to blow, and I usually blow through it first because I'm at the blackjack table. My wife's at the penny slots, whatever.
That sounds nice.
That does sound nice.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
I think shared traditions, and maybe a lot of traditions, because we're talking about the ones that I had, which are few, I brought up New Year's, not doing anything on New Year's, hiding away.
But that's you avoiding your feelings about the year.
But it became a tradition.
Okay.
Sure, but it goes on long enough. I was like, that's a thing I do.
I hide.
That's my thing.
Hermit crab.
I lied to people once, said my grandfather was in the hospital. I had to go visit him, and I just went home, and I sat there.
Wow.
And then I called him. I felt for some reason, I was like, I should call him though and say hi.
Yeah.
But that, but that was a tradition that wasn't shared. Like I felt like I had to lie about my tradition. It was all done in secrecy. I used to take clothes.
There was shame.
Yeah, not that one.
No?
I don't know if there was shame.
Then why were you hiding? Why wouldn't you just I like to spend it alone?
I didn't want to deal with the people who are going to pressure me.
Yeah. Come on, come out.
I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to say no. That was still on me. I could say no. I can make my own decisions and choices and not have to be influenced. But that became a thing. And then on Christmas, when I lived in Atlanta, I would take like old clothes to Woodruff Park, just give them to homeless people.
That's so nice.
But I did that alone too. I didn't really tell people.
That's important, right? Because if you're doing something for the show of it, just like that Pandora bracelet, then what kind of meaning does it really have? I mean, I guess the good can still be done. Like a husband could be buying the bracelet stuff to show off, but the wife could really appreciate it. And so it's like a equaling out at that point. But if you were broadcasting that you were bringing the clothes to the homeless still get clothes, so it's okay.
Yeah, but trying to prove something, right? At that point.
Yeah, you might
to
be.
Other people.
Yeah.
If you're telling everyone about it.
Yeah.
I was also bringing clothes like Jinko jeans. Don't want these anymore. And I was hoping I would run into someone wearing these goofy jeans.
We should make shirts for the homeless that have like Greg's shirt on it. So
I did make an Abercrombie and Fitch t-shirt once. White t-shirt. I wrote on it with marker, with Sharpie. And then I wore that around. It said Abercrombie and Fitch.
Do people think it was really Abercrombie? Because that seems like something they might do. It's like we're, rustic sort of, torn edges.
It is true.
Yeah.
It is something they probably would try.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell people, I'm going to return it, though. It doesn't fit well. And then I thought of actually trying to return it.
Yeah, see what they say.
It's okay.
They'll give you store credit.
I bought this. I don't like it.
Do you have a receipt?
No.
What credit card did you use? Did you use a credit card? Did you pay cash?
No, it was cash. It was a $59 shirt.
I spoke to my manager and they said, we unfortunately can't refund you, but we can give you store credit. Is that all right?
So I can buy half a pair of those jeans that are ripped to hell.
Maybe. If it's on sale, we'll see.
Or those fisherman hats that were cool.
Fisherman hats?
In the late 90s.
The trucker hats?
No. They were like fish. They had a full rim around the edge.
I don't remember.
I think they were called, I don't know. It made me think of a fisherman.
So let me say, I was interested in a lot of those things growing up and even somewhat recently about, like what I should be doing, what like I saw people with the engagement rings and the wedding rings that I talked about before and kind of thought about my own and thought like, oh, it doesn't look like theirs. And that makes me feel a certain way. Or the going to Abercrombie and's like, everyone is getting I want these too. And I remember, I think my dad took me I wanted to go in that store and they were so expensive. It was like, get out of here. We're not going to do it. I don't think we got them. So, but you just like try these on for size. Like I experimented with those things. Like what, I guess the traditions, or are these traditions?
No, but it's close.
Yeah. These ideas of what should be tradition.
I mean, the clothing's not necessarily a tradition in this instance, but it's close enough.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're at a certain point in your life, these certain things should be happening to you. You should be doing these certain things, these certain, marks in your life. These, what are this different, level. You should be like progressing to certain things. If you're a certain age, you should own a home.
Different stages.
You should be at certain well, stages can be whatever stage you're in. But like an idea of where you should be, I think is expected of you. And just like I was saying about you're at a certain stage in your life, and my husband should be buying me Pandora bracelets. You know, I'm at a certain point in my relationship with my boyfriend or whoever, my partner, and so they should be buying me certain things for Valentine's Day because that's what I expect. That's the tradition that has no meaning, but that doesn't matter because it's just what is supposed to happen.
We're venturing into shoulds, which I think should be its own show.
I think it should too.
It should. It will be. I would like it to be.
I would too. All right. Semantics is going on the back burner.
Shoulds, traditions to tie it into that.
Uh-huh. I know we went off too far against.
No, but I think there are traditions that people feel like they should do or other people are doing and they want to be a part of. And if not, they feel like they're left out, which everyone wants to fit in.
The herd.
But there are ways, if there's no meaning, if it's not authentic, I don't understand where there's meaning.
People don't think about it.
So therefore, why would you want to continue to do that? Why does it mean anything to you? Traditions, as far as we're talking now, my problem is what few traditions I had, I didn't share with anybody. Yeah. And I would like to have some to share with people. That's a nice thing. And to create your own, where there is actual meaning there, that's the best path.
Yeah.
Now, there are bigger ones that are shared. We're talking about the holidays, and a lot of people do the same things, and that's nice because it comes around once a year. And it's still shared with people, though, that you're close to and like, even if other people are doing the same thing. It's not to show off.
Right,
It's not a status thing at that point. It's just, we do this. This is nice.
Yeah.
And let's enjoy it.
And it sort of signifies the start and the end of a holiday, right? Because it's like the start of the Christmas season is when you start making sugar cookies and decorating them. And once Christmas is over, you're not cutting out sugar cookies of Santa and decorating them anymore unless
it's your tradition that you make in the summer. Every June, I make Santa cookies.
I mean, if that's I guess that's your special tradition. I guess that's fine.
And that means something.
And that means something.
That's what you're doing at that point.
Yeah.
So, as far as traditions go, I think if I'm going to create more, that is my goal. Mm-hmm. Authentic, shared traditions.
Meaningful.
Yes, we'll see. We can revisit this in a year.
Okay.
But I also don't want to force them. I want them to be
of course.
Organic. So something possibly will
This is
up.
The golden age of Greg.
Yes.
It's going to continue into 2020, and we'll see where...
It's going to go on for decades.
Yes.
So I say.
Knock on wood.
I don't have any wood. Yeah, why do people knock on their head?
Because they're pretending that your head's made of wood.
I get it, but it's not. So it's not a substitute for wood. So therefore, that doesn't, to me, mean anything.
It's like the Eucharist. I say it's the body, it's the body. My head's the wood. Just relax.
Okay. Thanks
for listening to One Topic. Go onto our iTunes page and give us 5 stars because someone...
Nah.
Nope, nothing happened. Just go on there, give us 5 stars. We like to see those ratings go up. Rate and review us. Subscribe.
Sorry to shut you down like that. And don't talk about that chump.
All right. We're not going to give
Subscribe. And what else?
And I don't know. Find us everywhere at One Topic. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
What if someone doesn't celebrate Christmas?
Happy holidays.
Yeah, you're canceled.
Shalom in the home.
Well, someone, hey.
Happy.
Don't, just forget it. Just.
What's the other one?
No,
Kwanzaa?
No, leave it.
This is the one where you're Chinese New Year.
You're digging yourself. That's in April. You're digging yourself deeper. You're gonna
Festivus.
You're bringing me down with you because I'm tied to the show.
Cut off that goat's head and leave it in Prospect Park.
Cancel culture. Autumn is canceled.
Yeah. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Autumn.
Do you like hot sauce?
I do like hot sauce, but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco.
I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible. And a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. You know, a lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, let's say no more than 5 ingredients. Maybe even, and I mean, it's crazy, but there's gotta be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. You know, bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients, 0 fillers, additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hop Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won Best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
Hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code ONETOPIC15.
Hold on, that's...
Yes, get a pen and paper.
ONETOPIC15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC 15, all squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order, and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.